And I want to welcome you to this is the 30th anniversary of the Tampa Mayor's Alliance for Persons with Disability. And it's great to have you here. And we got a lot of things that are going to be going on here today, so we want to get the program underway. But first, I would like to bring on our Tampa Police Department color guard for the presentation of the colors. And at this time, to present our invocation from the James A. Haley Veterans Hospital, the Chief Chaplain, Charles E. Smith.
If you're able, please pause for a moment for the invocation. To the grand architect of the universe, we ask our blessings upon this special occasion, in which we gather to give recognition and show our appreciation for those whom have given of themselves to the service of persons with disability. Heighten our sensitivity and empower us to transform our environment mentally, physically, and spiritually, so that all things will work together for good for persons with disability and our support system. We ask thou to bless the food, bless our souls, and bless the fellowship. Amen.
Amen. And our thanks to the fantastic Tampa Police Department color guard. And you may be seated. We're going to begin our lunch here in a second. I want to thank, I think it was Ben Ritter who got me involved in this some time ago. And Ben has been a close friend of mine for a long time. Where is Ben? I know he's in here somewhere. Oh, I see him over there. He's always sending me these cornball jokes. He is the worst. Things like, what kind of shoes are made from banana skins? Slippers. What happened to the boy who drank 8 Cokes? He burped 7 Up. Why do golfers wear 2 pairs of pants in case they get a hole in one? I wondered why the Frisbee was getting bigger, and then it hit me. I can't believe I got fired from the calendar factory. All I did was take a day off. How did I escape Iraq? I ran. Why was Cinderella thrown off the basketball team? Well, she ran away from the ball. I wasn't originally going to get a brain transplant, but then I changed my mind. I'm reading a book about anti-gravity, and it's impossible to put down. I once flatulated in an elevator, and it was wrong on so many levels. If con is the opposite of pro, it must mean Congress is the opposite of progress. And why did the blonde tiptoe past the medicine cabinet? She didn't want to wake up the sleeping pills. Or the sleeping pills. Thank you, Ben Ritter. He makes me groan many times, almost every day. But enjoy your lunch, and we'll get back here in a little bit here with the outstanding program that they have put together for you here today. Oh, I do want to welcome some dignitaries that we have up here, as they are eating, no doubt. First of all, we have Councilman Guido Maniscalco. And Commissioner Sandy Merman. And also representing Senator Bill Nelson, Digna Alvarez. And now let's eat. Well, if we can have your attention, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to give out some awards here now to some very important people, as you all are, or you wouldn't be here. Which reminds me, you know you're at an important event when Ron Weaver's there. And I saw him somewhere. Although you got to work on getting Akash Patel here. That's the other one.
No, they won't pay for lunch.
First of all is our Employer of the Year, and you can read about why these individuals have been nominated because there are descriptions of each of them in the programs. But our Employer of the Year nominees, the CEO and Director of Operations of Pyramid Imaging, Dr. Rex Lee and Christine Lee. We've got, and if you are there, which I hope you're here, if you would stand up or raise your hand if you can't stand. Do we have Dr. Rex Lee and Christine Lee? The others are from WellCare Health Plans Incorporated, Ben Barkley, Shannon Freist, and Denise Van Gelder, or that could be Freist. Are they here? Personnel Coordinator for the Walmart Town and Country Center, Julia Richardson. Are you here, Julia? And from Abby's Health and Nutrition, Darlene Housefield and Victor Cardis. Are they here? There they are. We got them. And the mayor will now take over.
All right, the Employer of the Year Award is presented to Abby's Health and Nutrition. Okay. With a special award for showing up.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is for you as well. Here, let's do this so we can get the pictures right, so you guys will look like stars. All right.
All right, thank you so much.
Congratulations. Actually, it was somebody else that won. We switched it over to you all since you are the only ones here. Now, there are only two on this one, as I see. Our next is Excellence in Media nominations. And first of all, Special Needs Family Hour, Julie Ames. And Julie is there. and consultant for the Center for Autism and Related Disabilities at USF, Denise Barnes.
All right. And the winner is, for the Excellence in Media Award, Julie Ames.
Congratulations, dear. What's that thing with the lights on it that keep flashing down there that you're holding? Oh, that's a camera. I remember those. I thought that was a camera. Haven't seen anything like that. Outstanding Community Service Volunteer nominees. And our nominees are from Mary Jo's Performing Arts Academy and Tampa Bay Triple Threat, Mary Jo and Kristen, I think it's Scanio. Are you here? Well, it's okay if I mispronounce it then. From Ingram's Karate, Sherry Ingram Ongwin. From Training Tamer Incorporated, Larry LaBelle. Brandon Elks Lodge, number 2383. Do we have a rep from there? Yep, there they are. And Independent Living Coordinator for Self-Reliance, Sherry Wilson.
All right, Jack, and the winner is, and this is not rigged, by the way.
I know about those. It's huge.
The Outstanding Community Service Volunteer Award, Brandon Elks Lodge, number 2383.
That's funny about
The band. Slow crowd.
I wish I'd done that.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Jen. Here, you guys have some gift cards.
Thank you.
Turn around and get this picture. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Good work. Yeah, thank you.
And last but certainly not least, this is the Joe Sanchez Jr. Leadership Award nominees. And the Sanchez family, I understand we have some of the Sanchez family here. Here they are, right down here. Well, it's great to have you all here. First of all, the founder and executive director of Yes of America United Incorporated, Becky Forsell. The CEO and president of Tampa Residential, Keith Collins. And the senior vice president of operations and engineering for the Florida Aquarium, John Mueller. And the winner.
The winner of the Joe Sanchez Jr. Leadership Award, someone who I know very well, Keith Collins. Keith promised not to contest the outcome of this.
Well, you're just
I'm rolling today.
Good job. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Congratulations.
Good, brother.
Thank you.
Of course.
Gotta get a picture too.
Yeah, we'll let you say
No,
a few
I
words.
don't need to.
No, you can if you want. A few.
Sorry.
All right, go ahead, Keith. Go ahead.
You want to say
Yeah,
some
go,
words?
go, go.
Yeah, if you want to say something, go ahead.
Thank you all very much for this award. It's one of the most prestigious awards that one could ever have. I'm so honored to be recognized to also be the recipient for the Joe Sanchez Award. And what I'd like to say is this is one of my great life passions, and one of the opportunities I have is to help those find solutions to be able to live independently with dignity, and that's very, very important. What I'd like to say is a very small message, very quickly, if I may. There's something about the advocacy and the awareness that we can all do. And in this room, all of us are advocates, even though we may not know that we are. And there's 3 areas that I'd like to point out to people so we can walk away today and think about this and always be able to do something for the future for someone else who has a disability. And I want to talk about the 3 models very quickly, if I can, of who we are. First, we have the medical model. What that is where society takes a look at one who has a disability, whether it be physical or mental, and they immediately say, okay, you're the problem. The truth of the matter is the person who has the disability is not the problem. The problem is what they decide to do. Often we create special schools, we create special programs, special workshops, institutions for the disabling people. The second is what I call the charity model. The charity model is great because there are charities out there that help all with disabilities, and they do magnificent jobs. But often the public has a perception, once I write a check, it's over. I don't have to do anything more. No, there is more to it. And this is the way that I see it, is charity public seems to think somebody who has a disability is helpless, and they are not helpless. And one of the things that we need to do is help them seek the autonomy, independence, and rights through the public's perception. But the one that I live by, and my final word that I want you all to think about, is just simply this: the social model. The social model is one that I believe in every single day. And what that is we're able to separate an impairment from a disability. And we start to realize the problem out there is not one who has a disability who is in a wheelchair. It is the obstacles, the barriers, and the things that stop them from being able to utilize the things in life that we all enjoy. Getting into a building, getting up on a sidewalk, doing anything like that. So what I'm trying to say is when we leave here today, what we can do is start to understand that we need to do more to change the barriers everywhere we look, everywhere we see, everything that we touch. And with that, we could do a great service to all of society. My hope is together we can fully implement the social model that we see and what we have to do, and continue to improve the awareness for all others to improve the quality of life. Thank you.
Sure. I needed to say that. You did.
I thought this thing wasn't rigged. What was he going to do with that speech if he didn't win? That's a... Well, I think we're through.
I got one more.
Oh,
Oh, the next 10 days can't come soon enough. Yeah. We are about to hear from a true American hero and inspiration to all of us. But before we do that, as all of you know, Karen is retiring. And she has served this city amazingly well and served the disability community with a great deal of dignity and grace, and has certainly enlightened all of us at City Hall to be better and to do more and to do better and to get these barriers out of the way so that everyone can live their lives with as little obstacles as possible. And so, Karen, if you could come up for a second, I'd like to give to you come on up. I do this with a great deal of appreciation, but more importantly, this comes from your peers. Comes from members of this community that have recognized all of your hard work, and I will tell you in no uncertain terms that they are going to miss you. We will miss you as well. You really have done yeoman's work, and you should retire knowing full well that you have had an impact on the quality of people's lives. And ultimately, that's the most that all of us can ask for, is that we made a difference, and then that when we leave, this is a better place because of our presence here. Karen, this is a better place because of you. So on behalf of all of the people in this room, this is for you,
Thank you.
and this is for me. No, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much. Thank
All those emails.
And we will now have our introduction of our speakers and move on to the program.
First, I want to thank everyone for your support of the luncheon. And also, I would like to say just a brief thing about Karen Sinrich. She's been a true asset, to the city of Tampa and to the Mayor's Alliance, and she will be missed. And we look forward to working with the mayor and hopefully identify someone, that can take over that responsibility. But Karen did do a super good job. And the second thing, I'm just really honored, to have the opportunity to introduce, a man that I have a great deal of respect for. And he's made so many contributions, to our nation and to our city. And I hope that, when you learn a little bit more about the speaker, that we can count on your support to help him achieve the goals he has established for himself. But just a couple facts. There are approximately 250 to 300,000 individuals with spinal cord injuries living in the United States today. 11,000 new injuries occur, each year, in the United States, and approximately 600 new injuries are reported to the Central Registry here in Florida. These are new individuals with spinal cord injuries. The major cause of spinal cord injuries are motor vehicle accidents, falls, and gunshot wounds. Many of these injuries are preventable. Spinal cord injuries are most often sustained by younger adult males, but the trends are beginning to identify more females and elderly. So that's just a warning for some of the elderly people. You need to stay off those ladders and stay off your roof and be real careful, trimming your branches from your trees. Unfortunately, many of these individuals are unable to obtain needed rehabilitation to develop the knowledge, skills, and abilities needed to successfully function independently or to reintegrate back into the community. Many of these individuals also develop secondary complications which lead to repeated hospitalizations and institutionalization. Okay, so it's clearly recognized by rehabilitation professionals that specialized facilities with professionally trained staff, state-of-the-art equipment, and supports are much more effective in generating more positive short-term and long-term outcomes. And what I mean here is that, a lot of people, they wind up becoming injured, They wind up at our fine trauma center, here at Tampa General Hospital. They sometimes have opportunities to, when they go to rehab, the days are so short. The amount of time they spend in facilities are so short, they never really develop those skills that they need to function, because it does take time. So today, I'm proud, to introduce to you Rami, and his wife Gabby Camargo. Rami is a decorated member of the U.S. Army Special Forces with 20 years of honorable service. During his distinguished career, he participated in several deployments throughout the world. By his accomplishments, he was presented with numerous decorations and medals to his name. On September 16th of 2008, Rami was ambushed in Afghanistan and sustained a bullet wound, paralyzing him from the neck down. For many, this would have been a diagnosis of lifelong misery, suffering, and despair. But for the Camargos, this was the beginning of a new chapter that began a journey based on their core values of faith, hope, and charity. Their focus changed from themselves to serving others. As a result of what happened to them, their eyes were opened to the vast unmet needs of others, how fortunate they were to have each other, and what they could do to address some of the unmet needs, the pain and suffering they witnessed. Their faith, hope, and love for each other not only saved them, but opened the doors to offer inspiration and opportunity to others with spinal cord injuries and their families. As a result of this devastating injury, Stay in Step Recovery Center was conceived and has continued to grow with the support of many organizations and caring individuals. It's a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the highest quality, intense community-based outpatient rehabilitation services in the area. The facility serves both military and civilian populations with spinal cord injuries. It's really quite a place that have been able to put together. It's very active. They have wonderful equipment. They have a dedicated staff, and just do a tremendous work and have outstanding outcomes. The program encompasses much more than just physical therapy. Its further mission, is to help the individual and family develop positive and healthy mindset based on faith and hope, and a desire to live meaningful, purposeful, and productive lives in the community. So with that being said, please join me in welcoming Rami and Gabriel, and learn more about their incredible journey and the wisdom gained and their plans for the future. Rami.
I can't believe that it's been a year already since the day that we had our grand opening.
This past year has been such an amazing journey.
When I come to the center every day and I see our clients interacting with other clients, laughing with our staff, and having this motivation to recovery, it's an amazing feeling.
And you see some of these guys that haven't walked or haven't moved in years or months, they come in here and they find hope. They believe in their hearts that they can recover.
Romy and I will be providing them the right environment, and we are giving them the opportunity to see progress, and that's all about it.
Steve brings that military mentality here, and that's probably the base of where we work from.
One more, last one. All right, get it. Got to play that four, man. Hey, good, get it.
We bring that military attitude, that go, never quit attitude. Ever since I was a private, I was instilled that never quit attitude, and that's what that's what we're trying to do here, you know.
My name is Derek Amaral, and I've been coming to Stand Step for almost a year, and I've seen a lot of progress. I leave here more stronger and more determined than ever before. Romy's my hero, and like I said, these guys rock.
Everybody that works here, I mean, they're, you know, just for saying hello, just for saying how you're doing, you know, it's for them. They find an environment where they can come here, be part of the community, be part of something.
What we are doing right now is all about giving back.
I mean, it's an endless possibility of what we can create for the next step, for Staying Step.
And we are ready. Romy and I, we are ready to keep fighting for them. We are ready to take Staying Step to the next round.
In my heart, I still believe that I can recover, that I can, you know, get up out of this chair and walk again. And I'm working really hard. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being here. And I appreciate you guys allowing me to share a little bit about my story. It has been 8 years since we were on that mission that changed all of our lives. I want to thank our Lord Jesus Christ for allowing me to live one more day and for giving my team the strength and courage to help him do so. We were ambushed during the mission, and I was shot and paralyzed. My life has changed in so many ways. I am so much stronger, and I'm a better man. I am closer to my family and friends, and I'm closer to our Lord. I have been able to see my children grow up, which has been a blessing. I've been able to be with my wife, Gabby, every day, which was something that I missed when I was deployed. She is the inspiration and strength that keeps me strong and motivated, that makes this so much easier. I was an inpatient for the VA, in the VA for 18 months. During my stay at the VA, I learned everything that I could about my injury. I even did research about stem cells in Europe, and I petitioned to have a stem cell research surgery in Lisbon, Portugal. I was granted permission, and I became the first active duty member to go overseas and have this type of surgery outside the United States. This was a breakthrough because it changed DoD policy, which now active duty soldiers can fill out applications to be able to receive treatments outside the U.S. When I arrived, I knew I had to conduct intense activity-based exercise in order to jumpstart these new stem cells that have been grafted on to the injured portion of my spinal cord. As I began to research centers that provided this type of therapy, I was disappointed because nowhere in the city of Tampa was there a center that provided advanced activity-based exercise. I continued to research while doing what I could at the VA. I then found a private center in Orlando that provided this type of therapy. So for 2.5 years, I traveled to Orlando. Sometimes the trip would take 3 hours on I-4, but I did it. This became a catalyst for my wife to brainstorm with me what we needed to do. Driven by this focus on recovery and the knowledge that most local spinal cord injury and disabled personnel did not have a rehabilitation option in the immediate Tampa area, my wife Gabby and I decided to form the Romy and Gabby SCI Foundation and create the Stay in Step Spinal Cord Injury Recovery Center. We have combined the civilian and veteran community with disabilities that cause paralysis and people that care for them through a combination of physical therapy, close-knit support groups, and mental strength training. Our rehabilitation program is the activity-based exercise and therapy using the body's natural weight and movement, where our members work one-on-one with their trainer. Our trainer's goals are to help our members take a step forward towards recovery. Contrary to the traditional therapy, our exercise programs offer long-term solutions for rehabilitation. At Stay in Step Spinal Cord Injury Recovery Center, Gabby and I have worked hard over the past 2.5 years to have our center recognized by the VA, TRICARE, Medicare, and I have worked Blue Shield and other insurance companies. Also, we are supported, by corporations like Toyota, who believe in what we do, which is helping the disabled population due to paralysis. We have broken the stigma of our veterans having to wait for our appointments to conduct therapy. We are providers for the new VA Choice Program, a program created by the Veterans Affairs Administration to allow veterans to receive a referral to receive treatments outside the VA. Once we receive the referral, we immediately call the client, and in the next day or two, they come to Stay in Step for an evaluation. Then they will be on the schedule for the following week. This means they do not have to wait to receive therapy, which I believe is a win within the Veterans Affairs Administration. We also have civilian clients that come to the center to receive therapy. Since we are a nonprofit center, we supplement those clients' hours through our supplemental plan, which is funded by donations. Currently, since we opened on June 20th, 2015, we have supplemented approximately $265,000 of supplemented hours to our clients, and that number goes up daily. Currently, we have 18 clients with disabilities that range from stroke to severe TBI and any other neurological disorders that cause paralysis. 3 of our clients are combat wounded, and I had the pleasure of serving with one of them for 13 years in the 7th Special Forces Group. I've seen the progress that my clients have achieved. I would like to invite every one of you to come to Stay in Step and come see the great things that we're doing. Our next challenge is to build a new pilot center with an underwater treadmill, basketball courts, cafeteria, kids' room, family room, and more. A center that is not just offering physical rehabilitation, but most important, healing the mind and soul. As a career soldier, I put my life on the line and paid the price for what we have right now. I still believe that it is my mission to continue serving my country, even under the circumstances in my life. I'm fighting a new battle, which is opening doors for those who do not have the visibility like me to bring them hope and share with them the never give up attitude. It is my desire that these initiatives can be emulated for more wounded warriors around the country to also break the stigma of 22 suicides a day. Sometimes we do not know why things happen, but what I do know is no matter what your circumstances are, always stay focused, strong, motivated, and committed to all of your goals, and look for ways to give back. follow one direction, work on it every day, and with faith and honor, you will achieve anything, even when people say they're impossible. As it says in 2 Corinthians 2:14, I thank God who always leads us in victory because of Christ. Wherever we go, God uses us to make clear what it means to know Christ. It's like a fragrance that fills the air. Thank you all for having Gabby and I here today. Mayor Buckhorn, thank you again for the opportunity to share my story. God bless you all.
Testing, tasting, testing. Wait a minute. All those jokes Jack told I collected while I was a patient at the Tampa VA hospital, which I like to call the Haley Hilton. Jack, I told you they're coming out with a new dog food for Star Wars. They're calling it equine flavored. May the horse be with you. Seriously.
Everybody growing together.
We'll never grow up a grown up. Seriously, I don't believe the director of the Tampa VA hospital was recognized. Joe Battle, who came on board about a little over a year ago at the Tampa James A. Haley VA Hospital, has done wonderful things to ramp up the services for our active duty military and the veterans there. Joe, thank you for being with us today. I'm here to say a few words in remembrance of the late Captain Bob Sila, United States Navy. He passed away a couple of months ago in August. He was a great guy. His passing was a great loss, and he's left a leadership void in the military and veteran community and community of people with disabilities. He was, as many of you know, he was a driving force behind Operation Helping Hand, an arm of the Tampa chapter of the Military Officers Association of America. And begun in 2004, Operation Helping Hand has since hosted 150 consecutive free dinners, monthly dinners at the Tampa James A. Haley VA Hospital for our active duty, wounded, injured, and ill military service members and their families. Bob is also a great advocate for non-veterans with disabilities. As many of you know, Bob was a supporter of the Tampa Mayor's and Hillsborough County Alliance's annual holiday event, originally held at the American Legion, North Florida Avenue, then Mosey, then now this year it's going to be at Busch Gardens. The idea was to have the venue held close to the VA hospital so the troops could come out of the hospital and have a fun night with their family members, with members of the community. Those of you who were here 2 years ago at the Mayor's Alliance Awards ceremony may be aware that prior to the beginning of the ceremony, Bob was sitting at the Operation Helping Hand vendor table out there, looking kind of sweaty and pale, when VA hospital Dr. Miller came in and said, "You get yourself to the hospital immediately." And while Mayor Buckhorn was presenting the awards here on stage, Bob was having a heart surgery procedure at Tampa General, which at that time was successful. A little background. Bob Sila retired here in Tampa in 1988 after serving 27 proud years in the Navy. He became involved with his church and with community affairs. He liked to be called Captain Bob Sila, and he had a reputation for being feisty. Fair but feisty. To quote Howard Altman, the Tampa Bay Times military affairs columnist, he said, "Retired Navy Captain Bob Sila was like a boiled lobster, short and crusty, hard shell on the outside, but sweet and sensitive on the inside." I think we kind of relate to that, those who knew Bob. I first met Bob when he came to the Paralyzed Veterans Office where I was working at that time, accompanied by retired Army Lieutenant Colonel Bob Swalish, who's over here taking pictures of everybody. Thank you, Bob. They came to enlist the PVA's support to bring the retired aircraft carrier, the USS Forrestal, to Tampa. And the idea was to convert it to a military museum. It was a worthy idea, but unfortunately, it wasn't successful. We got to know each other quite well. We became good buddies. We went fishing out on the bay in the wheelchair accessible pontoon fishing boat, the Miss Beverly, that the PVA donated to MacDill. And he would advise me on matters that a big brother would advise his younger brother. He was like a big brother to me. But one thing that he did that affected the rest of my life, I've got a ways to go yet, was that when he asked me to join him and his wife Kathy for the 2003 Navy Ball here in Tampa, he said, "That's what a good Marine should do, go to the Navy Ball." So I let him twist my arm, and I needed a date. So I invited Alder Allensworth to be my date. Thank gosh Bob twisted my arm, because, as you know, Alder and I continued dating. We got married a year and a half later at MacDill Air Force Base, and guess who set up everything for us? Captain Bob Sila. Make sure we had a good venue at the Military Officers Club. I could rattle on and on, but those of you who knew Bob know that we miss him very, very much. He was one of the special people in our lives whose memory will never leave us. We miss you, Bob. God rest you.
Thank you, Ben. What a special day, and what a special room with heroes. And when we're talking heroes like Rami and his wife, what a heroine she has been, and others in this room as well. It's just a very special day and a special occasion And of course, I want to thank the mayor for making all of this happen and bringing this all together. And we hope this has been a very special occasion for you. By the way, we want to thank the signers, the signer here, and also the, I guess, stenographers, the people who have been keeping up with us so well. But it is just and I was good friends with Bob as well, working with him in MOA and so forth. And I so appreciate the heroism of people like Rami and Ben and others, having served in Vietnam myself back then. I was very fortunate, but I had friends of mine who weren't so fortunate. But anyway, thank you so much for being here, and God bless you. Thank you.